Realizing that through everything that you persevere through in a journey that you might label as spiritual, or a life path that you recognize as a consistent return to witnessing yourself. I think for me, the biggest part of it is being like, I'll never choose anybody over me again. And you learn that over and over again. And I'll probably still learn that. I'll probably still make mistakes knowing that, because you can know things and you can be so sure that you know things. But there's still these parts of you that aren't aligned with that knowing, that make decisions out of alignment with that knowing. And I think I'm like reaching a place of like really understanding, or coming to understand the concept of non-duality, of what I am witnessing, what I am feeling, what I'm looking at, what I'm sensing is just me looking back at me. And I think I made a decision a while ago, like this version of me that was so broken and hurt and lost and trying to find something that meant something. I think I felt this depth within me for the first time. I was probably about 18. And I didn't know how I was going to live. I didn't know that I was going to live. I didn't know that I was going to be a person. I was so detached from myself. But I felt, and it was deep. And I knew that it meant something. And I held on to that belief of, essentially, I mean something. This means something. This life means something, so I must mean something. No matter what anybody says, no matter what experiences reflect to me, no matter how resilient the guilt and the doubt and the shame can be, especially being raised in like a religious household. You carry so much guilt just for being a person. And as I've slowly, intentionally overcome those challenges and those limiting beliefs, it's just so reassuring to be back in a place where I can look at that version of myself that no matter how lost I was, I just knew that something meant something. And now I'm like, yeah, it was me. It was my magic, and it was my strength, and it was my heart. It was my own depth that I was perceiving. It was my own magic that I was reaching for and praying for and hoping for. It was me, Not to say that I'm God, but the God source is within. And I've become enough in tune with that to where it's like, yeah, I'm the person that my 18-year-old self needed. And that means something. And it's never gonna not mean something, whether I make money or not, whether I'm successful in becoming independent financially or not, whether my dreams come true or not. It means something that this version of myself is recognizing in this moment, that my magic and my heart and my soul and my depth is the only thing that I ever really needed. And I wasn't wrong to isolate from the people in my life. I wasn't wrong to cut people off. I wasn't wrong to feel misunderstood. I wasn't wrong to look elsewhere for meaning when I was smart enough to perceive that the relationships I had didn't respect me. And I've dealt with so much bullshit since then, And I think that's been the key, is cutting the bullshit, because I knew that there was magic, and magic isn't bullshit. It's the only thing. Magic and depth and emotion, the things that people underestimate, the things that people view as fluff and arbitrary and a waste of time. Not always, that's a generalization and an assumption, but we'll get there. I've got a lot of healing to do. But it's just so reassuring to know that I've never been wrong, and I've never been selfish, and I've never been mean for choosing myself, because everything the past couple years has reaffirmed to me that choosing to leave certain situations, choosing to choose myself, was the smartest thing I've ever done. And not a single person in my life understood that. I did that by myself, I chose myself when no one ever taught me how to do that. And that takes strength and that takes courage, and I've been alone, since. I've been alone and dealing with people who just are interested in taking from me, who have their own methods of deception, who take advantage of my kindness, who think that I owe them something because they give me drugs, or they give me money, or they give me food, or they give me belongings. But I know, and don't get me wrong, I'm so grateful. I'm always grateful, whether it's internally or externally or expressed or not. I'm a grateful person. I'm grateful for everything. I try to express gratitude for everything that I can. And I think there are a good handful of people that might have a lot of negative things to say about me, or resentment build up toward me, because I do my own thing and I don't concern myself with the dramas of immature people. And I'm not perfect. I can be manipulative. I can be deceptive. I can hold on to my emotions to the point where it's comical how much I'm holding inside, how much anger I hold on to. But I never claim to be perfect. I only claim to be me. And there's so much that I've experienced in my own inner worlds that not a single soul on earth knows about other than me. It's just me and source. It's just me and me, There's nothing that can take that away from me. And I'm allowed to be defensive when people who haven't worked for that try to take it away from me, or don't understand that my energy is something that I've worked for. My energy is something that I've worked on. That's my magnum opus. That's my life force. That's my heart. That's my soul. That's my meaning. That's my purpose. That's my everything. That is my everything. What sits right here, my heart, that's my everything. And I'll protect that. And I'm not the best at protecting that. I'm still learning how to protect that. And I've made a lot of mistakes because I'm young and naive, and sometimes I'm so hard on myself, and sometimes I'm a perfectionist, and sometimes I have no idea how to let people close to me because my inner world is so sacred to me. But I've reached this version of myself where it's I don't care what other people think or how they feel. There's a part of me that's frustrated because I know that there are negative things that get said about me, but it's also at the same time really funny because it's those are the exact same people that I've thrown myself on a cross and bled for. Those are the same people that I've literally bled for, Those are the same people that I was holding in my heart and my soul and wishing nothing but love for. Those are the same people that I was isolating from because every time I was around them, I had no energy, or I had nothing to say, because the cognitive dissonance that I would experience in these people's companies was so intense. It would just feel like I was literally on a different planet than them. And that's how you know you've outgrown situations. And at that point, you don't owe anybody any explanation of why you're choosing yourself. Just choose yourself. at that point, it's like, you know. And I would just sit there and laugh to myself, and they wouldn't even notice, because it's like they just were so, they just desired my company because they knew, you know, even a fool knows when it's gold. Even a fool knows when it's gold. Even people who aren't conscious understand when a valuable person is in the room. Before I understood that I was valuable. And that can be sad and frustrating. But I'm gonna honor that part of me, you know? It's not like I don't care. It's just like I'm practicing detachment by honoring the sacredness of my anger. Because those people never deserved my energy in the first place, but I gave it to them. You're welcome, you know? And then they have nothing but negative things to say. And it's almost like a pity thing. It's almost like, well, you're proving me right, you know? And I'm glad I chose myself. And I always will be.